And welcome to Bruins Overtime Live, presented by BuyAToyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit BuyAToyota.com. Lots to break down with Billy and Barry here on this Era's night. 2-1 the final, though, in favor of the New York Rangers. Guys, I said it previewing this show. Despite the low score, a very exciting game. Lots to discuss.
Yeah.
Feistiness, non-calls, calls. What are your takes on this one?
I'm not going to call it a tired first period, but it wasn't as rambunctious as the second and third.
Yep.
Thought the intensity ratcheted up. We had a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of questionable stuff going on. One thing that was true all night, Jeremy Swayman, outstanding. His focus was outstanding, but he didn't have to save his team in this one.
No.
He saved, but he didn't have to save them on his own. You know what, overall, though, Barry? I loved the guts. I loved the you-know-what of these guys in this one, because depleted with injuries, had a later game last night, were tired, come back in, and over the last 3 games against tough teams, how did they do?
No, I thought this was a good point. Like, this is one of those situations when you don't have a Pasta, McAvoy, Zaka, Forbert, and you're shorthanded, 6 times. You did a great job defensively, even though the Rangers had a lot of perimeter time. The Bruins had really good layers in front, great goaltending, as you had said. And also, you play New Jersey, you play the Islanders, and you play the Rangers. They were all playing well. To get 4 to 6 points in this stretch at this time of the year, take it, move on.
I thought it was outstanding. I mean, you have to look at this mini stretch as a mini series, and they did their job. They get it. Tomorrow is going to be a well-earned day off for all of these guys, and then they can reset on Monday. We thought it was great. We really did. I mean, it wasn't perfect. There was a lot of stuff. There's some crappy calls, 1 or 2 of them, but overall it's great. I mean.
Well, you mentioned some of the calls. Brandon Carlo going to the penalty box for an interference call late in the game here, where Vincent Trocheck gets to tie it up on the power play.
Yeah, this is a little play. He went down pretty easy there. But, okay, they're going to call. That's one of the ones they want to call all year long. And you're giving the Rangers, again, Billy, we talked about in the pregame, number 2 power play in the league. This is a power play that is very effective. You keep giving them chances. That's a nice give and go right there, man. That's a sweet play by Trocheck and Zibanejad.
You had 2 guys, watch here, Barry. Witherspoon is pointing up to Beecher a bit, and then they got 2 guys covering the low seam pass, and Coyle just can't keep up with Trocheck, because Trocheck watch Trocheck right there. He keeps his feet moving, a give and go, and a short side shot, too. That's a heck of a shot right there. You tip your cap to them and you say, it looks easy. Well, they made it look easy because of their quick puck movement and quick cycle. I mean, that we would laud the Bruins if they did that right there. But the Bruins are very aware of the weak side. They're thinking that you got 2 guys again covering that low seam area right there. The middle of the ice was open.
And just before that penalty too, Fox had a tripping penalty early in that third. The Bruins had a 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
And if you're able to get one on that power play, as Brick always likes to talk about, timely, specialty teams, now you got a 2-0 lead with a little cushion, but give the Rangers credit. They did a good job killing that one.
All right, well, next is a penalty that Jim Montgomery was not pleased with on the bench, and we heard the crowd not liking this high stick call on Hampus Lindholm. I don't know.
This was a battle. It's a situation where he went down, we didn't know what they were going to call it originally from us, because this is on the other end, Billy. I thought this was just a battle. It's his stick. Look, it's stick, and it's just crazy.
And here's the thing. You see the referee looking at the low referee. Look, Barry. The low referee is watching the play. As far as I recall, I could be wrong, he doesn't raise his arm, does he?
Nope. Look it up the top.
It's the back guy.
There you are.
It's the back referee that's making the call from 60 feet away. And while I understand the premise of the 2-ref system, Lindholm's stick, was up because Fox brought his arm up like that. Now, the good news is it didn't lead to a goal, but again, it just you were lamenting it just from
You're tired. I mean, then you have to kill off another.
You got to kill it again.
But those are the type of penalties that really irritate players. Is that when you have an official right there, and he doesn't make the call, and the one way out there makes that call. It's just like, what are we doing?
And it's not that we're saying. Let's reiterate, and I'll reiterate. I won't speak for you.
You can do it.
The refs, look, players make mistakes. Hey, broadcasters make mistakes all the time. Refs are going to make mistakes like that too. But I feel like that one is an easy fixable one. You got a guy looking at it right there.
Again, especially at that time of the hockey game.
Right. All right. The good news is they survived. We're done griping.
Well, we've talked about penalties late in games, letting them play it out. But either way, they did end up killing that one off. So tied at once at the end of the game. Either team looking to end it instead of going to overtime. You felt the Bruins gutted it out here.
I love this, Barry. I did. you know what? They sucked it up. They started pushing. He had guys out there that were, doing their best. This is a good low to high type play. 4.5 minutes left in the game. You're funneling pucks. Frederick, who had the goal earlier, is in front of the net. Again, they're utilizing the wall to get pucks and winning the battle. And, it's not like they just held on for dear life. They had chances near the end.
Yeah, these guys are non-penalty killers, right? So these guys are fresh.
Yeah.
So they're coming off the bench, and they're ready to go, and they're trying to take it. They had good puck possession, had some good opportunities. A couple deflections you thought would have had a good break right there down low.
That was close.
Yeah, he lifted up his head. He thought he had it. He was frustrated. But again, they didn't sit back.
No.
It was tied, and they had some good opportunities late in that third.
Last night, Jim Montgomery talked about how on the bench, how much he felt the energy, how felt the intensity, the all for one, one for all. I think that translated to tonight as well. I think they galvanized over the Pastrnak thing, and you know what I mean? They said, guys, we've got a couple of more periods to go before. Let's make sure we get at least a point out of here. Let's go. Let's get to that point. I applaud them for every team's got to play shorthanded, literally and figuratively. They were doing both in this one, and they figured out a way to get at least a point.
And they did. So they sent it to overtime, and in OT, Vincent Trocheck, he was the one that tied it up in the third period. And in OT, we saw the Rangers with some good puck possession getting it done.
This is all about puck possession, and we were a little concerned here because at one point the Bruins had the puck and they got caught in the referee's skates.
That's right. Yeah. They didn't get possession.
No, they didn't get it. And then all of a sudden the Rangers don't give it up, and man, what a nice give and go. Panarin, he gets Trocheck down to the one side on the odd for the one-timer, and what a great feed.
I mean, it's a silky goal. Yeah. You've got to respect the puck carrier. You got guys that are tired. I think Grizzly had been out there for a little bit while just because, again, long change in OT, Bear. And here you have to respect it, and then he just doesn't feel or see Trocheck get behind him. Trocheck, without much of an angle, though, turns that stick simultaneously to the puck arriving on it, and it just doesn't give Jeremy Swayman the opportunity to get over there. It's a nice goal, and 2 goals for Vinny Trocheck. And, hey, they get the extra point. Good stuff.
And we talked in pregame. The strength of this Ranger hockey club is down the middle.
Yeah, this is a good Ranger team.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a good stuff. It's a good overtime goal right there. Good. You got to recognize that.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned the Bruins being shorthanded several times. One of those times is when David Pastrnak got a 5-minute penalty. But let's show you the history he had a little bit with Lindgren.
No, that was a good clean hard check.
He got 2 for 1. He got the official.
He got the official, too. But here, he's coming in on him, and I still believe that he thought Lindgren was going to keep going up the boards, and at the last second, he kind of pulls back, and he's going for that shoulder. But as we show, he gets the head up against the glass right there.
It's going pretty hard.
Yeah, and as we talked about, Billy, when there's blood, it's also going to go into that 5-minute cause.
No question. That's exactly what it leads to. And, they went to the replay. They looked at it. They did it what we would say is the right way, right? You have to
call the 5.
Call the 5 and make sure. And they felt it. Look, Pastrnak hits him hard. There's no denying that. He gets him hard. It's a penalty. Mm-hmm. And the tone or the tenor of the league right now with hits that have been similar in nature. Similar. I'm not saying the exact same thing, but you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Have been, and it's got the league and the referees and everybody arm up and literally, figuratively, and the antenna up. And the referees deemed that it was a major and then a game. Listen, Pastrnak was working hard.
He was very physical.
Very physical in this game.
As we were talking and putting together our first period highlights, it was Swayman and it was Pasta down offensively. Great forechecking. Remember, he was working hard and made some really intelligent plays, dumping it in, getting after it, some good shots on net again.
Now, based on what we've seen, I don't think there's any question that's not supplemental discipline.
Right.
Do you agree? I mean, based on what we've seen in the past, but, I don't want to guess on it, just saying my opinion. But they called it a penalty, 5. Okay, that's basically his game there, so to speak, the 5 in the game. But I don't see that as anything more than that. And again, the referees, I think the league is just because of what has happened. They're making sure that I think they put a little bit of hey, let's deflate the balloon a little bit on those.
A little emphasis there. Okay, well, why don't we show you the forwards' time on ice from the third period, because you mentioned, the guys obviously being tired, gutting it out, and this is how much these guys played in the third.
I mean, you look at, Pastrnak, 0 minutes, obviously.
Yep.
Brown played, 1 shift out there. The rest was somewhat balanced, and it's because guys like Beecher had to kill penalties. Yep. And Patra, we were worried about him earlier in the game. Yep. He actually played 5.5 minutes. This is actually better than what I was anticipating to see, Barry, for the third?
Well, I think when you look at those forwards, I think half of the forwards were penalty killers.
Right.
And the other half of them were even strength. And it was probably almost half the period where the Bruins were shorthanded.
Yeah. Again, better than what I thought. I guess when the period began, you were like, uh-oh, what's it going to be here? And the Bruins, remember, now, when they're up 1-0, they're going to play to guard the lead there. So maybe some other guys wouldn't have seen much ice time. But when they got it tied up and then they had to play, they had to play everybody. But that's good. Everybody got some important minutes.